Let's talk about arts boosting in Dragon Ball Legends today in 2024. I hope you guys enjoy, and if the video is helpful, be sure to hit that thumbs up and subscribe if you were new. So arts boosting is a very tedious process where you go ahead and you proceed with improving the arts power for your characters. So naturally, when you click a character and you want to go into the arts boosting process, this is how the character will look. They won't have any bonuses associated with them. Now, each character has, as you see, grades 1 through 199. So it says that in the top right corner for strike and blah, blah, blah. I'm going to, for the purpose of today's video, just say level because it's the same thing. Anyway, so grade 1 through 99 for strikes, blasts, and special boosts. So what happens with this is the heavy attack effects is the next portion under that. You see that those nodes aren't filled in yet. They do get gold when you fill them in by improving the level, the grade of the character arts boost, which I'll show you how to do in a moment and where to get those resources, so stay tuned. So they do improve, and what happens with that is your character has an increased chance to do a heavy attack. I think there's also super heavy attacks. Anyway, so what heavy attacks are is basically a super powerful critical hit where the character does an insane amount of damage, and heavy attacks are not applied to any PvP oriented content. So keep that in mind. They are not applied to any of that, but they are applied to raids. They are applied to like co-op stuff like that for like these different co-op / raid events, etc. like that. So they are useful for stuff like that. Also, they'll be useful for your challenging content. You know, when they run those stages every now and again, you will want to do the arts boosting on characters. I noticed when this system popped up that the opposition characters for some of these events were kind of really difficult. Like they were expecting you to arts boost, and I'm pretty sure that is the case, as it's a resource in the game that they're expecting you to do it. And it appears that since it's been out for a while, they are trying to make this process a little bit easier. So the information in the video today may not be what you see 6 months from now, for example. Anyway, so the strike attack bonus below that +0 goes all the way up to 13,000. Blast attack, also those double defenses, they're all +0 currently because I have nothing associated, but they do go up to 13,000. Now, keynote on that 13,000 increase in stats, it is a bonus on the character stats, and it is associated to PvP. So you even want to do the arts boosting and use your characters in PvP as well with the arts boost, because they, again, do get extra stat increases, so that's just helpful for the characters overall. So it's a give and a take system where, like, you know, you have the super heavy attack, the heavy attack, whatever it is, and your character does extra damage, as I'll show in a moment, outside of PvP-based content, which is very, very useful for your raids and your PvE content that you want to complete. And then you also do have the stat bonus, which applies everywhere, and the stat bonus will also, again, help your characters do more damage, tank better, etc. when it comes to PvP based content. So to show you a little bit about it, this is not the most hard event. I'll run into an event really quick just to show you what I'm talking about when it comes down to the actual damage output of the arts boosting system. So let's come here, we'll start this load this stage up, excuse me, and we're going to choose a character with and without arts boosting. Okay, so here we are. We have the yellow Bardock in currently. So okay, so what I want to do here, actually, give me a moment. I'm going to flip to the green Bardock here, so we're type neutral. I didn't want to type advantage or disadvantage situation. So this is going to get evaded. That's fine. As soon as I land a hit, you'll see. Okay, yeah, eventually I'll get the hit in. Thanks, Pan. There it is. Look at the damage. You see the impact. When he lands hits on her, there's that really big blue circle around. Look at the heavy attack damage. That's what that does, right? So it's basically just super powerful critical hits. You saw her life bar going down like crazy. It, again, doesn't apply to PvP, but it is what it is. So this is a character without it, so he has no chance to even get that, but as you level it up, you have an increased chance to land those super hitting critical hits. So that's why you would want to take your, as you see in the bottom corner of my arts cards as well for this guy, they're all 10s because they're max leveled. If I go here at the bottom corner of the cards in the bottom, they're all 0s, right? So that's kind of how your indicator is and stuff like that. You can level this stuff individually. You can only do, like on some characters, people will do, like if they're a melee character, some people will just do strike based ones. They won't worry about the blast. You know, you can do stuff like that as well. So anyway, let's go ahead and move on. I want to see what this blue card damage looks like. Actually, no, that's just a little too much, huh? Whatever. We won't see the damage, but I want to see the LF. Screw it. All right, so anyway, we're gonna from here transition into this next part. This feels really disappointing for Pan. This is really bad. Her grandpa and her great grandpa. The family tree beatdown right there. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna talk about the resources needed because there's a lot. and also where to get some of these resources and the new resources that they recently added that made this process much easier. So again, hit the thumbs up, subscribe if you were new, and let's hop right into that part. All right, so first things first, you can't just take one of these arts cores and say, I'm gonna go all the way up to level 100 or 99, right? Grade 99. That's not really how this works. There's 3 different ones, and they're separated by level. So this first one here, as you see, it says Arts Core +1, grade 1 or higher, but you've got to be lower than 30. So 1 to 30 for the grade/level. This one right here is for 30 to 70, and then from 70 to 99, which is the cap, you have to use this one. Now, they recently added these large arts cores, which are +3. So these are super strong. They're +3 instead of +1, and they got a 50% success rate. This one's +1 with a 30% success rate. So not very good in comparison. So we had been dealing with these small ones up until just about a week ago, where they added in the large ones. So let's talk about how to get these in the first place. And they're not all you need, by the way. You do need a bunch of souls that we'll talk about. And boy, oh boy, is this going to be a Zeni intensive process. All right, so overall, let's start with these cores and we'll move on. So actually, I want to see this too. Not usable in PvP or tournament of power. Yeah, we already talked about that. You can also see the stat grade increase as you increase the grades on these. So very strong. Heavy attack boosting, extra bonuses and stuff in here per level. So, all right. So how to get this stuff? The fun thing is you can click on basically any resource in this game and click how to get, right? So click how to get here and it'll show you a bunch of different places you can get it for this one in particular. And again, remember, not one size fits all for these small ones. You need 3 different small ones. They're all different. They all work in different ranges, right? So the first thing I'll say is the easiest way to get this is to do seed exchange medals. And seed exchange medals you can get from content completion, things like that. But the most reliable way to get these is on the login screen. So when you log in, you know how it shows you the login bonuses that you get by default, but then it lets you choose 1 or 2, depending on, I think, if you have mission plan or not. So I have that, and I get to choose 2 items. So I picked this up, and you get like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, something like that. That is the most consistent way that I've seen on a daily basis to get these. Also, these are going to be available in exchange shops. So other exchange shops, like if I go into this New Year's dual coin shop, they probably have those seed, or they did at some point, have those seed medals for exchange in here. So what you can do is you can come into these shops, exchange for seed medals. See, there's one right here. Seed exchange medals. You can exchange for it here, and then take this to its own exchange shop, and then exchange for cores. Now, they also do have cores here, but I'm not sure on the ratio of like whether it's better to use the cores here in terms of like the amount, because it looks like 5 of these is worth 1 core versus 5 for 1 seed medal, but 1 seed medal in its own exchange shop is worth how much? Let's see really quickly. And they're more versatile because you can get these too. So anyway, 1 for 5. So I think that's the same ratio I just said, right? Anyway, but seed medals are valuable anyway, because you can get these other art seeds that you'll need, and I'll explain them in a minute. But yeah, that's basically what you want to do. Now, outside of that, again, the resources are in different exchange shops. As I just kind of showed, in that one exchange shop, we had the seed medals and the art scores. So that's pretty much how it breaks down. And when it comes to the larger one as well, it's the same exact process. That one is going to be in a specific exchange shop. As it just came out, it's only associated with the New Year's gift raid. And so this New Year's gift raid, I've already got a couple of them completely filled out. So these are the only ones I can get it from. They do offer these. And so this is currently a right now thing. And as you see, you can exchange for these here, and you can pick up these. So overall, amazing system considering the value of these. Now, if we come out of this, we've talked about arts cores, we've talked about where they're from. But again, arts cores are the main driver for this, but that's not the only thing. You do need, as you see, a lot of Zeni. That's 18 million, by the way. I don't know the number off the top of my head, but it's probably really close to like at least 750 million per character to max out. It's probably closer to 1 billion, just for the record, in terms of Zeni. And if you want to know how to get Zeni, you just go to the extra stage, and particularly on the weekend, you want to run the event stage all the way through a few times, at least a few times, and then remember to exchange your gold bars. But this stage on the weekend does have the extra bonus for the gold bar drops, so you want to do that. And then again, you want to make sure you're exchanging these gold bars. I got 300 chilling right now, and in order to do that, we'll go to the exchange shop and do it live in the video. And once you have too many, they kind of get ported over to your gift box, which is good as a change, by the way, because the game used to just stop you. So I'm getting 1 billion right here. The game used to just stop you and force you to exchange them instead of just putting them in the gift box. So yeah, that's pretty much that. And if we go back into arts boosting, we've talked about most of the resources. So let's just kind of live do it. I'm going to use the arts core largest here just to get this done a little bit quicker. As you see, it's using a bunch of different resources. These are only really obtainable in exchange shops. Same type of deal. You can hit this how to get button. It'll show you. So those art seeds are only in the exchange shops for the seed metal exchange or in these raid ones, as you see. You can't really get them on an individual stage yet. So one day I hope that they add a stage like this bonus battle red for these seed, art seeds as well, because, they're just something you need. So eventually I expect that to kind of happen. So let's see how this goes. Arts boost success. We got it done. It used 14 arts cores, large cores. So that's a lot better than, that is so much better than the ones, man. Oh my God. The ones are really tedious because you could also, because the success rate is so low, you could also wind up using a lot of ones if you get unlucky. But these also, again, have an increased chance because it looks like it's 3 levels for a success. That's crazy, actually. These are a huge bonus. This is a crazy update to have these here. It only used 27 and 97 million Zeni. I'll take it. So maybe the estimated amount of Zeni you need is much less. Never mind. No, this is a several billion process. Several billion Zeni process. Okay, so to complete this one, I will have to get another couple billion, and that's just for the strike, by the way. We haven't even looked at the special move or the blast pages, where again you have to use these same cores, these same resources, and complete. This is why this process, this whole system, it yields very, very high results, but it was much more tedious than it is now with these large boosts, because the large boost is crazy. It was actually really tedious before, but it still can get pretty tedious because if you don't have enough resources by default, it looks like you probably should have like 8 billion Zeni to be safe. Something like that. But if you don't have enough resources, you'll have to constantly do the how to get, and then exchange. And you'll notice your seed exchange metals will dip really, really quickly because they can exchange in multiples of 10, up to 10. So here's how this looks. So multiples of 3. So 3, there it is. I typically do that, and that gives me 300, and that's not all you will need. You'll need about 1,000. So that's pretty much what it is. The good news is you'll probably wind up, even if you overspend here a little bit, you'll probably wind up using these a little bit in the future, so that's still useful too. So I need to pick up a lot of these, and it will take a little bit of time, so I'm going to pick these up. But I also need to go get some Zeni because, like I said, it needs another 2.3 billion Zeni. You know what the funny thing is? For the longest time in this game, Zeni was not a resource you would run out of, but then they started creating systems like this and the re-rolling system for equips, so now Zeni gets just absolutely drained constantly. I'm always broke on Zeni. I just never have any. But you see, I've already used a lot of seed metals. I'm going to wind up probably needing some more of all those same ones throughout this process before I complete it. So that circles back to what I was saying in the beginning. When you see all the resources required for this, I completely understand why people wouldn't do, and I do not at all recommend doing this, Goku, at all. Don't do it. I do understand why people wouldn't do all of the sections for a character. Like, people will literally go 99 here and then skip this. Why? Because, a character like this guy is melee focused. He doesn't really, need much of a blast. But if you want to min-max, you got to hit all 3 areas, right? Some people only do 1 of the 3. But again, it is very valuable in content like raids and stuff, especially when raids start to trickle down on you, or they kind of pull the hammer down on you, and it's like, okay, only using these couple of characters, and maybe it's a character you don't own and stuff like that, and so your character's not getting boosted. And if your character's not a boost character, raids are very tedious. So that could be a very big boon for you and very helpful. So that's kind of how things are with the arts boosting system. Now, like I said, it is a lot better now with the change, the larger arts boost, because that is a very big deal. It, again, it's not as tedious, it's easier, it's less resource intensive. What we need, though, is we need an increased, easier way to get those seeds, because the seeds are very difficult to get, as you saw, and you need a ton of them, so because they're only available in exchanges. So maybe at some point they will make the seeds, at least, even if they don't want to do the arts cores, maybe they'll make the seeds available on a stage or something like that, similar to souls. Because when the game was new and soul boosting and all that stuff was the premium method of improving characters, and even when we didn't have all the max levels, so we couldn't fully soul boost characters, getting souls was actually a tedious process too. I remember several times I would run adventures for souls specifically. Now, you don't run adventures for souls, you run adventures for whatever stupid event they've got going on, and then you can exchange for souls, but like whatever, right? That's not really something you have to literally do. And if you're out of souls, you can just go to the boost stage, similar to the Zeni stage I'm running right now, particularly on the weekend you want to run it anyway. You can go there and get like thousands in like just 100 energy. So that's so much easier, so easy of a process. So once upon a time, it wasn't that way though. So I'm saying all this to say, I do think in the future, arts boosting will become much easier to do, less tedious, resources will be the same, but it'll be easier as a process. So overall though, I'm going to complete this Goku. It's going to take me another 20 minutes just running stages and stuff like this. This is the worst part of this process, by the way. If you're not fully prepared, it does take a while, but it's going to take me another 20 minutes to do this just so I can make a couple of videos and have a little bit of fun. But I hope this video was helpful for you. If it was, be sure to hit that thumbs up, subscribe, or drop your boy a super thanks, super comment thing. Have an awesome day, everyone, and I will see you all in the next Dragon Ball Legends video.